You are tuning in to the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast with your host, Jesse Yule. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle. Let's go.
Welcome back to the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast. I'm your host, Jesse Yule, and today I have a very special guest. You guys are going to love Gary, but Gary Lineham is the founder and creator of the Human Garage. He specializes in fascial maneuvers. He's a lifetime biohacker, fascial expert, and I actually used to be one of his clients down in LA. So I'm super excited to have you on the show today.
Well, technically, you're still a client.
Yes, I am. But yeah,
and it's great to be back, Jesse. And this is the first podcast I've done in over 18 months. And I was just on the phone with Ben Greenfield yesterday, and we're just talking about, because we've been silent. And for those of you guys who've been following us for a while, we purposely dropped off the radar so we could create the new. And we can get into that for a while, but just starting off, the Human Garage, we closed. It was, I tried to do it in a very nice and judicious way, but with 10,000 active clients, there's always problems.
Sure.
And I'm licking my wounds from closing, but we needed to create space for this and what you got a chance to experience today. And by the way, we got to get a before and after picture of you on camera, because you look completely different.
Okay, awesome. Well, it might be, I mean, it definitely, like, as I went through that with you, I feel different physically. So just being on here, I'm sure I look different just from, what we just went through. So
significantly more color, less stress. So we're sitting here. We have a retreat center, training center in Lions Bay, Canada. And officially, Jesse, my last public treatment to anybody in the world was 10 days ago. These hands will never touch another human being for the purposes of treatment again. And, but I have all the time in the world as we roll our practitioner training and our online training. So I'm now giving all my time for the purposes of helping people help people. Because if I help you and you help 1,000 people, then I'm helping 1,000 people. Directly and indirectly. If I go work on 1,000 people, then I'm just going to kill myself. And that's what I did at Human Garage. I had a desire to help the world. But, here's the issue is 7 years in, at about the 9,500th client that I had sat down and worked on hundreds of thousands of treatments, 50,000 lab tests. I had been with all these practitioners, everything from allopathic and cardiologists and internal medicine doctors to chiropractors and physical therapists, acupuncture. We had the entire full meal deal, and you saw that. Yeah. And at the end of it, there was still something missing for me. I'll tell you what happened is 2 years ago, I went on the first vacation in 7 years. And I was working 6 days a week, trying to move this forward and trying to train everybody. And then I got on my vacation, and guess what happened? This is my third day into my vacation. Body crashed. So I've been in pain for 20 years. And I thought that in the last 10 years, I've been in healthcare with the Rubenstein Center and then the Human Garage. And I've been using my own practitioners as tools to keep me moving forward at an insane rate. And I felt great. I honestly did. And I thought I was great. And then here it is. I go out and I go away for vacation my first time. And on my third day, my body started crashing, and I had to leave and fly back to LA because I didn't even, our treatment, our chiropractic doctors were different. I wouldn't even accept adjustments or anything from anybody else because we had developed our own style. Right. And then I realized I had a little bit of a come to Jesus moment. And I realized I hadn't fixed anything, Jesse. I just got a bigger, better Band-Aid. And so I went on this quest to end my relationship with the need for practitioner care. Now, if you're a practitioner out there and you're listening to this, I'm not saying practitioners don't need to be there, but as a practitioner for myself with over 10,000 clients, 80% of the time I'm just babysitting them. Here, like, hey, they won't do 10 minutes to save themselves. Like, we have this non-surgical facelift kit, and you did part of it there. You feel great, right?
For sure, yeah.
Better, but I couldn't get anybody to do it for their health. But you tell them that their face looks better, they'll do it 3 times a day.
Yeah.
So this is part of the problem is that I was spending him as a coach, as a health coach. And, with a whole medical practice and lots of evidence behind me, I was spending all my time trying to get people to actually do the right thing. And they wouldn't do the right thing. And the frustrating thing was, here's the truth of it. And I can tell you from working with over 300 practitioners personally, and I have over 1,500 doctors of all types as clients over the last 10 years. We don't take care of ourselves generally. And for those of you out there who do, I'm just saying, I didn't, and I've noticed that most of the people I worked with didn't. So I'm sitting there working on issues with people when I had issues myself.
Right. And I think maybe what we, because I come from 20 years as a personal trainer, I think we have a tendency to tell people what to do, and we kind of become self-righteous in that like we're not actually practicing what we preach. And so a lot of times we tell our clients the very things that we should actually be doing. And yeah, I mean, I think you just have a tendency when you're in a position like we are, where you're helping people, it's like, we want to help people. And so sometimes in helping them, we actually make them worse because now they become dependent on us. And I think that's a great point you brought up.
Yeah, well, actually, that's exactly what happened. I'll only talk about my story from this point forward, because everybody has their own journey. But I went from 20 years in pain, of 2 to 4 pain for 10 years, and 6 to 9 pain for 10 years. Found my solution by building a series of practitioners around me. Basically, I had been going to chiropractors, physical therapists, all these areas to take care of myself. But and I got to a point where it started working, but I was doing 3 to 5 appointments a week. And being in business, I'm from the technology business. I'm going to be sharing this online a lot, but I was one of the world's largest data encryptors. And what I did was I protected secrets for people, governments, agencies, 3-letter agencies all over the world. And as a result, my experience with them is, and I part of the reason why is I'm writing a book. And I had to leave the United States to write this part of the book. This is where my body broke down, because I've been managing myself with all this care. But I was holding data at a level that couldn't be decrypted by the US government. I'm Canadian American. And when they asked me to turn over my access, in 2005, I called them out and said, the whistle blew. And I said, hey, these guys are doing something illegal. And they arrested me because I wouldn't give them my keys, and they held me for 27 months. 17 of those months I was in solitary confinement, and I was treated as a terrorist. They said I was a drug dealer because the only thing they had. Long story short is I was looking at 40 years, and we were negotiating and fighting, and at the end of it, I got out. And when they realized, they came in and they realized that I wasn't going to give them what they wanted, which was they wanted the access to my servers. I had governments, law firms, and agencies. I was the guy on top of BlackBerry. So when BlackBerry needed encryption, I did it. And so that was a part of my story that I left out on purpose. And there's a reason why, because what they did to me was illegal. And, at the time, people didn't believe that the government did that stuff. But today it's pretty obvious.
Yeah. Now it'd be like, okay, well, that's happening everywhere.
Yeah. So now I get to tell my story, but before telling my story was poking the bear even more. And, this is the journey of also the human garage. I've tended to poke the bear. At the end of it, as human garage, we've been sued by the FDA, sued by medical agency. We've been attacked and sued by everybody. We even had our bank. I'm clear to say this now. Wells Fargo stole 6 figures from us and said, sue us. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Wow. So this is the journey of people that really want to help. And I know that you want to help. I know you're getting censored and shot at as well.
Yeah, for sure. That's going around all over. I mean, you try to figure out the way around it, and you just keep going forward. And I think that's what's, cool about what you're doing is like, I've watched you not only at the human garage, but like I knew you were building something on the side, because like I hadn't really heard what you were doing, but like I kind of watched the behind the scenes. As like a business owner, you're watching somebody else build something, but they're just not coming out and saying what it is. And so it's amazing to have you here.
what did you perceive that? I'm curious now.
I knew you were building something with manual care, and just the way that everything's going, I could see it was some type of, virtual platform that you could do a lot of the stuff that you used to do in person on. I mean, if you're a business owner who wants to pivot and make it through the period of time we've been in, you have to do that, and you've made that possible. But I don't really know anybody else in your industry of manual care that has done that thing or even close to it.
Well, so here's what I see about a lot of online stuff, because I'm launching right now with 5 major fitness brands across America and Canada, representing their combined bases of clients represent about 25 million people. Wow. And what we're doing is we found a way. Well, first of all, we found a way to do online, get better results than we did in person. So like for example, we just did 3 of our 10 maneuvers with you. And how do you feel?
I feel amazing. I'll sit here on camera and say, man, like 2-3 weeks ago, I could barely get up out of a chair, and was in pretty crippling pain for the first time in my life from just sitting at a desk. I mean, normally it would be from, maybe playing football at one time, but I did nothing. And so coming into this, I'm like, man, all right, I'm not going to tell them my back hurts, but I want to see what it actually does. And I can tell you, standing here, like, I don't feel any pain whatsoever. And earlier this morning when we were talking, I was in pain.
Well, so here's a good idea. Here's a good reference. By the way, everything we did, we can also do sitting down.
Okay.
So the whole point was, I was looking for a way to remove the need to feel good in my body. Now, irrespective of what it is or what type of discipline, I wanted to feel good. And the reason I went to chiropractors and physical therapists and acupuncturists and reflexologists and massage and all the other stuff I did, and the red lights and the steams and the saunas and the baths, because I wanted to feel better. At the core of it, that's what the end of it. And if I feel better, I perform better.
Right.
And so everything that I'd never found a way to do this. And like I said, my crux point was when I went away and then I was in trouble again. And I felt like I was back in the pain that I had started and created. I felt like I was right back there again. So these 10 maneuvers over the last 18 months, and I had a base of them, and then I moved into all 10. And there's only 10 maneuvers, and they never change. When I was able to remove all of my need for practitioner care of all forms, including dental, which is crazy, and I'll explain that to you too. I first was really angry. I was angry at myself because I was a practitioner. I had 10,000 active patients, and we had all the practitioners there. I was angry at the industry. I was angry at people, but I wasn't really angry at practitioners because they were executing what they told was right.
Right.
But somewhere along the line, when I found out where these moves came from, like the origin of the philosophy, like how did it all come? I was angry at the world because this was so simple. What you did took 15 minutes and it bypassed, and you've been going to practitioners and acupuncturists and all that, and you're still in pain, and you eliminated yourself in 15 minutes of us.
Yeah. I mean, I went chiropractor probably 5 times in the last 2 weeks, massage at least twice, acupuncture 5 times.
Yeah.
And it all felt better for about 5 minutes. And then
usual conversation.
Yeah. The minute I went back to wanting to do anything, it just flared right back up.
So the reason I want to first of all say that we acknowledge all forms of care as ways to move the body through to the next stage. I just believe as being in fascia and working with 10 years, I believe that, and studying it for 30 years, I believe that we just were looking at the equation wrong. Like, it's real simple. I mean, if I was to give you these glasses, and what you see right now is a line, right? Now you see basically a rectangle, but if I go like this, now you see context and you see the entire glasses. We've been looking at the body like this.
Right.
Some people even look like this, and we had to look like this because something wasn't working. And we had to come here, and the first thing we had to do is the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire professional career in health was we wrote a new definition of fascia, because we were doing things, and I'll send you some photos of before and after. We were doing things in a single session and now online that we couldn't explain with any current view of how the body worked. Chiropractic didn't explain it, acupuncture, craniopathy, reflexology, massage. I mean, they all contributed to the idea.
Right.
But the final idea was it was more about how we define the body. So we decided to, in our book that we're writing, we divide the body into 3 distinct layers. And we rebuilt all the organs and the processes in those 3 layers. First of all, it's musculoskeletal, hormonal, glandular, lower brainstem, back. Then it's the limbic system of the brain, which attaches to the organs. That's why your ears, that's why you feel so good right now, power the limbic system. And the organs and meridians, Chinese medicine, Ayurveda. And then we moved into thoughts and perceptions and fascia. And some people say the Kundalini, but I have a completely different view of all this stuff now. So for example, let me give you an example. Fascia is perceptual and it's emotional and it's environmentally sensitive. It's vibroacoustic. It's sensitive to the environment and it feels everything. So if I was to say to you that your mother died, instantaneously it's like, if you believe me, you curl over. And I'd say, no, she didn't die. Sorry. You'd stand up, thank God. So a perception, which wasn't true, affected your whole biology, your muscles, your bones, your nerves, your organs, your tendons, your muscles, your glands were all affected by perception. And there was no way to explain that anywhere in medicine or healthcare that we could find. And so what we did is we decided to take it to the next step and try to define that. And I was talking to one of Tom Meyer's guys yesterday, and he asked me a question. He says, "Do you understand fascia?" And I said, "Heck no. This is the most sophisticated, we call this is a fluid adaptive biological computer. This is the most sophisticated thing on the planet Earth. We still can't duplicate the storage capacity of one body with all the internet." And I'll explain that in a second. And I said, look, I can program fascia, I can move fascia, but I have no idea. And every time I think I know, I learn something new. So instead of having fixed education and fixed concepts about what it is, we're recognizing that we don't know what it is and we're discovering it. But what we're doing is we're telling people how to work with it. So I can take somebody, like those movements work. I can show you how to assist somebody in a series of 10 movements. And I can show you how to do that all in 3 hours, and you can be good in 3 weeks. And now you can do something that your chiropractors, your physical therapists, your doctors, you couldn't do. They couldn't do. But you don't have to even understand how it works.
Right.
And then what we're doing is we're layering the understanding based on people's desire. Because we have beliefs, and today the last couple of days, we had the brain mechanics. We had a bunch of scientists here putting diodes on us. And we were checking brain performance, heart coherence at the same time, respiratory rates, stress levels. And we accurately can say this, and we will be publishing data, that 75 to 90% of your stress is gone in 10 minutes. So then you look at genetics and disease. Every disease in the world is stress related.
Wow.
And we could talk about this. This is not our first conversation, Jesse, but this is the first time that I've told anybody really about this. And we're doing it here on your podcast. And the reason why, honestly, I've been following you too. And the reason I don't care about how big the market is now. I just give a shit about people who give a shit about people.
Right.
And I've done podcasts for the best in the world.
Yeah, right? For sure, man. I mean, that's how I found you.
Right. And here's what I've determined. I would rather spend my time with you because you are literally in the fight, helping people. And if I can make you 100% more effective, then I've done my job. I'm here to help people, and helping people buy a new product or anything or learn a new way of doing something or selling something was disingenuous for me.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I found out about you. I think it was through Ben Greenfield's podcast and came down to you guys.
I really do. He's
Seen
awesome.
you and, you know, just fell in love with the work and kind of the mission you guys were on. I will say that what you were doing is kind of like deadlifting this massive weight. And then just hearing you talk about it today, I will say, I don't think people realize the energy that goes into what you're doing. And when you start touching people and healing them that way and manually working on them, they don't realize that that puts stress on your body. And so really what I see now is a way for you to do exactly what somewhat similar to what you're doing before, but a way for you to really help and heal people on their own so that they have the confidence to do that with themselves and others.
Yeah, you know, and you put it right, because I was seeing 7 to 10 clients a day every day for 10 years. And and I did that 6 days a week, 5 days a week minimum, average 6 and sometimes 7. And then when you go home, you got friends and family like, oh man, you know, and it never stops. So basically I was working on bodies and sleeping and recovering. So at the, you know, towards the end of it, because there's a lot of emotions people are dealing with. What I find the dirty, dark secret is a lot of practitioners who do hands-on work, they drink a lot of alcohol. And and we're writing this in a book because I was using alcohol and THC as a coping mechanism, because I was so wired at the end of the day, I had to bring myself down. And then there's moments where you get a little bit off, and that was my tool. But it's like a car. Sometimes is my tool to go places is my car, and sometimes I drive a little fast and I go around the corner and I get a speeding ticket. Well, you know, sometimes I drank a little too much, and sometimes I use a little bit of marijuana too much. But when I got myself free of the stress of all those people, then I was able to come back into my body. And when I came to Canada, the first 3 months was a detox. I spent a month in bed. Cynthia was nursing me through, and I had 5 days where I was vomiting 10 hours a day. And
Wow.
I wasn't drinking water or eating food. And at the end of the 3rd day, I started to freak out because I couldn't put water or food in, and I'm still vomiting. And I just kept saying, where's it all coming from? Now, for those of you guys who are science geeks, I took pictures of it all because that's the way I am. And we're making this, and I've got doctors who were there evaluating me as this going on, because there were moments and times where I was scared for my life. But I just had a belief that once I get through this, there's on the other side was this understanding where I'm at right now. And had I not had a bunch of trusted physicians around me, and had I not had people that were there that understood that I was going through something and not judging me, you know, because it sounded like I'm alcohol detoxing or whatever, and it wasn't the case. But at the end of it, the end result was I needed them to be my support to even tell me that I'm okay. And then we let my body do what it needed to, and I detoxed, and 30 days of solid detoxing, and then I've been rebuilding ever since.
Wow. I mean, it's amazing. And what I love to hear about what you've done is you've kind of turned your pain into your power, in a sense of, you know, taking the experiences you've had and been able to lay the foundation of kind of like where you're going, and just having that faith of knowing, hey, I'm going to go through this season because I know there's something greater for me on the other side of this.
Well, I mean, you're a trainer, no pain, no gain. I just took it.
Yeah. I mean, I've been a trainer for 20 years. I played a lot of different sports and done a lot of things. And, you know, there was always that idea and concept of no pain, no gain. Fortunately for me, you know, I haven't had many injuries in my life. And so I've kind of, you know, I had that at one time when I was younger, but I've done enough things to know that that's not a very good way to approach, you know, physical health in life. I do believe, you know, the pain that we go through emotionally. Yeah, definitely. Those are things that we can learn from and grow from.
So this is where I start to challenge the belief system. I don't believe in physical pain or emotional pain or spiritual pain. I believe it's all the same. So let's talk about disease. So if disease, dis-ease, body's not at ease. So if you're angry, are you in disease? Yes. If you hold it in your body, it's over time, it's going to do something. And And you know, the single definition of being a doctor legally, the legal definition of practicing medicine is the diagnosis of the human condition. So I can prove to you right now here today that every single person from age 1 all the way to age 100 is a doctor. And I'll tell you why, because if you could diagnose the condition of human health, which sickness leads to death, that's a condition, then at the end, no matter how smart or what they know about the body, he died. That's a diagnosis. And then it is. Before that, you go to a medical doctor who has a bunch of tests that says, yeah, basically I got these tests that say you're going to die. So you got to change something or you got to fix something. And then before that, you get a natural practitioner of all sorts who says, hey, I got some tests, some other tests, and they're not going to show up on those guys' tests yet. But, and I see some behaviors, like you're a little angry and stuff like that. But if you don't change something, you're going to go to these guys who are going to give you a test, and then they're going to tell you you're going to die, and you're going to die. And then all the way up to the Buddha guru guy who just who meditates, and he's like, remove the stress from your body. And so when I have an emotion in my body, if I'm angry, if I'm sad, if I'm fearful, and I hold that in my body, that's the beginning of dis-ease. So emotions cause dis-ease. End of story. That's my belief. And prove me different. That's my thing. Like you can disagree with me, but that's my belief. And that's what I use with over 10,000 clients to help them. So prove me wrong. Yeah, and so I was looking for the answer there. I was looking for a way to quantify that because, you know, saying that your emotions cause your disease is not good enough. It's too woo. Right. So I was looking for science to back it up. And the more science I got, the more argument I got. And that's part of the problem, Jesse, is that the scientific model is to argue, is to prove something wrong. But, you know, you can have 10,000 years, you can believe something scientifically and have 100,000 people write articles and papers on something. And one dude proves it differently. And they go, well, that's interesting. We'll wait for this. We'll wait for more people to believe in you, more papers. So it's almost like a popularity contest. It's almost like I need more likes as a scientist to prove my theory. So I'm going to go and create more likes. Guys, do you like me? It's
I was gonna say, welcome to 2020. Right,
and here we are.
So one thing I will say is I remember hearing a story, you know, back, I don't remember where I was, but there was this cancer doctor who healed people. And they would come into his office and he would ask them one question, like, who gave you cancer? And if they said it was anybody but themselves, he would say, I can't heal you. I can't work with you. And so his success rate ended up being like 97 or 98% because he was working with people who could literally go back to the time and place, or like you said, the disease, the stress that they've had, that they could point out, oh, this is when I began to get cancer.
So actually that's a really good point. So we had the same thing with the movement of the body and then the healing of the body. And we found other ways to look at it. After we had all kinds of data and analysis, and we put everybody into buckets, and we had all clinical notes from all the different practitioners. We had I interviewed everybody between 1 hour and 2 hours, every single one of those 10,000 people at the garage. And I was looking for a way to understand, is it going to work? Because I was saying to them, we can help you, and I'm charging them up front for that. And if I wasn't able to help them, then there's a disconnect and there's anger and frustration. So here's what we discovered at the end. The final answer is this. People describe their conditions in one of two ways, and they vary it the way they say this, but here's what it is. I'm broke and I need to get back to zero, to doing whatever. The other one is, I want to do something and my body's not letting me. And they have different ways of saying that, but the first category, no matter what I do, they're coming back. Whether, you know, at Human Garage, it might've been like 6 months or a year or 2 years rather than every 2 weeks, but they're coming back. And the second category, they never come back. And that's the ones I want to work with. So the Human Garage at first, up for the first 5 years, we didn't have a website, no advertising, no podcast, nothing like that. We had a little shop in Venice, and people would come to us, but you had to have a referral from another client. We wouldn't even accept the doctor referral. So our thing was you had to be referred. We had a website that says, call us, referral required. And we had a 99% success rate. Then what happened was, because people had to work hard to get there. So we found that people that are active in trying to solve their issue will seek. And if they're seeking, that's the first step to healing. If they're not seeking, if they want somebody to fix them, forget it. I don't care what they do. I don't care how good they are. It's not going to work. And so what we were doing is when we started doing all this media and these podcasts, and then all of a sudden we went from at that point, we went from seeing 30 people a day in 2-hour sessions to seeing over 100 people a day with all of this media, and all it was people and fanfare coming in and celebrities, and because the core celebrities that we had, like Superman, Brandon Routh, if you're out there, and the core athletes, they found us. Right. They found us through hook or crook. Derek, Julianne Hough, people like that. They were the founding members. Lashinda Demas, Olympic runner, Tyson Gay, fastest man in the world before Usain Bolt. They found us. But as soon as they told the world where they found us, we started getting people who were no longer willing to seek. They wanted to be and so they rolled in. It's like, hey, fix me. And
I don't know what's wrong with me, but just fix me.
Yeah, and what's wrong with them is that they feel like they need to be fixed. Right. So here's what I'm here to say: the human body is designed to heal itself. End of story. If we could take a necrotic liver, so what happens if the liver's necrotic means dying? If we cut it in half, it'll grow in 6 months. And arguably, the liver is the second. You can Google that. So even Dr. Google will tell you that one. So the liver itself, if you can regrow your liver, arguably the most complex organ next to the brain, which I don't think is an organ, I don't talk about as an organ, then you can regrow everything. And about a third of our clients who had their gallbladders out, we told them this, and I would manually touch them and go, you got a gallbladder? No, I had it out. Let's test it. Let's take ultrasound. Let's look. And about a third of the people that had their gallbladders removed at the Human Garage identified it. After doing the work at some component or some part of their life, I'm not saying Human Garage did it, their gallbladder grew back. But how would you know if it grew back? You're not looking at it. You don't look at it unless there's a problem. Right. So we don't evaluate the human body generally until there's a problem. And since we don't do that, all of our information about how the body works is when there's a problem. So it's like the difference of fixing a car every time the muffler breaks or the timing belt breaks, or tuning a car after every race. Like one of my best friends growing up as a kid, he was a factory rider for Honda. And he works on they ride the bike and then the team works on the bike. And I would ride my bike all the way till something broke. And I was looking at that even as a kid saying, that's a smarter way to do it. But that's not the way we're trained.
Right. It's a more efficient way to do it.
So do you know who I think is more effective if they know what they're doing than a doctor?
The person in the body.
Well, yeah, yourself.
Yeah.
But to help is a coach.
For sure.
Because a coach is able to point out things I don't see until I'm ready to see it. And that's what I love about you. You are and first of all, you're not only able to, you're willing to call bullshit. It's like, yeah, don't mess with me. Dude, you're not doing the right thing. It's like you're not fooling me. And being in this industry, people come in, they're like, no, I've been taking care of myself. And I'm like, I know you did cocaine on the weekend, dude. No. Look, I can tell you how your spine acts. Let me tell you this. And I can see this up in your nose. You want to tell me again? It's like, because the thing is that they want to hurt themselves, and then they want to damage themselves. And they don't want to take care of themselves, and they want to hold you, the practitioner, the trainer, responsible for their wellness, but They don't want to be responsible.
Yeah, that's a great point. You get so good at understanding clients and tendencies that you can pick out things that they're doing that they're not even aware that they're aware of, but also you know, like you said, the abuse they put on their body, that you're like, hey, you know, you've done this, and they're like, well, what are you talking about? I haven't done that. And you're like, you just did it like a day ago. How can you tell? Well, I can smell it on you, I can see it on you, you know. And that's where you kind of have that intuition that I think a lot of people don't really see until they really get to work with you. Let me ask you this, man. I know you got to jump off, and I don't want to cut you
No, no, no.
short.
I'm good. I'm good. Listen, I want to have this conversation with you as long as you got.
Okay.
I have our first in-person practitioner training happening at 4 p.m., but I'm willing to go right to 4 because I think we're having a great conversation.
Yeah, for sure. So give me 1 second. I have an appointment coming up, but I just want to make sure that I have plenty of time for it. So give me 1 second.
Fair enough.
Okay.
The same thing.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay. Let's make it work.
Okay. So let me ask you this, man. There's a couple things I wanted to make sure that we went through on this, and
Sure.
this idea that you said, hey, I'm a lifestyle artist. And when you said that, I'm like, okay, well, what exactly does that mean as like kind of like the title, but how did you come up with this?
Okay, well, so here I was in a situation, Jesse, where I had two lives. I had a life where I worked and I went to help people, and I had a life where I tried to recover from that. So I decided to turn to be completely genuine in my approach and take every problem I've ever had in the chin and put it out there, and then start living this way. So I'm in a center here. There's three of us, Cynthia, Jason, and myself. And what we decided now, we gave all of the assets and all of our discoveries, and we're putting it into a foundation called the Human Garage Foundation. And it's about a global fascial movement to teach the world how to live better, feel younger, have more fun in their life by understanding how their body works and making changes themselves. And because 99% of the world can't get here, and 95% of the world can't even afford a monthly subscription, we decided to give all of our content for free. So the basic moves of how I help myself heal and how you can do it yourself are for free. And we've set up an app or a community which people can get into. And I'll explain how this transitioned to lifestyle artist in a second. But the whole point about it was this: every day we get up and we live in service of this mission, this goal. We do not have salaries, but everything that we need is provided, provided by the foundation. And what we do is we constantly are there to share, but we take care of ourselves first. Then we help other people to take care of, share with other people. And the first and most important part, if we're not taking care of ourselves, it doesn't work. Because then there's a discontinuity, it's disingenuous. And people can feel it. It's like a dog, knows if you're angry or mad, or if you're sad or you're scared. It's like people have a sixth sense that says there's something that's not right, and that's why they don't accept. They don't believe fully in the treatment or the practice. So a lifestyle artist is somebody like us. We live our lives in service. We cook, we eat. We eat together almost every meal. We cook, we live, we share, we sleep, we hike, we have our own time and all this. But our life and our business, or really our passion, is not separate. And the biggest part about that was disconnecting from caring for people for money. So there's no amount of money on the planet Earth that you can pay us to help you today. The only way that we will help you is if you have demonstrated you'll help yourself, and you have demonstrated furthermore that you'll help other people. If you want to help yourself, you can go to our practitioners, our fascial maneuver specialists. But if you want us to help you, you have to already be helping other people. And it's simply just living my core value, or our core values, which is take care of ourselves first and help other people and have our life supported. And that's what we're doing. And that's why we live dude, this is like, I honestly wake up every morning, I go, oh my God, I can't believe this is my life. And it doesn't cost, it's not like it's expensive. It's just a commitment to do something.
Right. Yeah. I love the idea of lifestyle artist, because I have, like, part of my program is called Lifestyle Business. So it's like building your ideal lifestyle and then putting your business into that, because for a long time, business was the lifestyle. And when I lived that way, that was where, you know, my marriage, my relationship with my kids got all out of whack. And
me too. I had 3 of them.
yeah. So like when I hear you say that, I'm like, okay, well, you know, it's really like the same thing. And I made a huge change for me 2.5 years ago, selling my training facilities and, you know, kind of walking away from 600 members. You know, I was making great money at the time. And I I'd wake up and I hated what I was doing in that aspect of life. And I wanted to get away from it. And so
I get it. I hated what I was doing. I see it. And, you know, and the love of what I wanted to do was help people. And I hated the way that I was doing it. I got up every day angry because I was in physical pain. I was functioning, but I was like constantly, I mean, I was working 10 to 15 hours a day. And I thought I was in service of trying to help people, but you know, you get this weird point where it's not working anymore.
right.
So part of the way that reason why we did what we did is we created, and it's a stepper. We have a very sophisticated community app being built, but we put an app out that everybody can join for free. And in there, all the ways that we helped ourselves are in there for free. And we're just starting. It's in beta right now. And it'll release in January, but anybody who's on this can go to our website and join, but we're not marketing it.
Okay. If you guys are listening to this, I'll make sure you check the show notes. We'll have a link in there that you can, you know, go to for that also.
And so the idea is that what the part I had a problem with is that people were bullies when we talked about health. I mean, I've dedicated my whole life, like you have, to understand the human body. I've been 10 years in a medical practice, working with the top doctors and practitioners in the world, top athletes. And I say something, and I got somebody who took a yoga certificate who goes, that's not true. Prove it to me. And I'm like, why should I prove it to you? But this is the conversation. And when you put it online, it gets 100 times worse. Everybody is a critic. So we made a simple idea, and they're bullies. I call them online bullies. So in our platform, we have a very simple idea. It's to encourage businesses and professionals and people to share information in a safe form, no censorship. Because right now, as you know, we are censored, and you are like crazy censored. So right now, 90% of our audience doesn't see us anymore, just because we talk about things that other people don't want us to talk about. So in this app, uncensored, and you can go in and share, and people, because they are, every time they say something, either online or even online or even at a party, or they'll say something about vaccines or something like that, or about health, or about any belief they have, pesticides or food, and people are like, rah, 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 that's not true. And so people are so scared to share that this is the only industry where people are not okay to talk. So right. in our app, we have moderators who understand how to moderate a conversation, because I don't care what your beliefs are on vaccines. I want to have the discussion. I have mine, you'll have yours. At the end of it, you're going to do whatever you want to do anyways. But right. Let's have a informed discussion about why. And then where it happens is people start bullying. So we have a simple rule. You bully on our platform, you go to school. Now we're building the online, be a good community member school. And if you get caught bullying again, you're off forever. Never to come back.
You kicked out of school. Well, so I would say 2020 is the year of worldviews radically being challenged. And, you know, yes. I think our worldviews have been challenged more this year than any other year. And I think that's where we're getting we're having just a hard time just having a conversation, open conversation about it. Is when you really challenge people's worldviews, the first thing they do is they want to fight back, versus kind of like, hey, maybe I could be wrong, or maybe the way I've thought things to be, you know, could be wrong. Maybe I should listen to this. And
they default to the same things. You're a racist, you're a bigot, you're a chauvinist, You don't like other
Yeah,
people.
I always tell people they default to their lowest level of training and highest form of addiction, which usually means what was the original thing they believed and how's the normal way they'd constantly react to anything else like this. And that's what they always go back to.
You know, you're exactly right, because, and by the way, we talk about them in detail because we've broken down the biology of habits and addictions. I'll throw this out as a carrot, but if you can drive 10 miles in a car that's 5,000 pounds, okay, and you can turn and negotiate through lights and give right away and all that and not remember you did it, at some point you have to realize you're not in the driver's seat. You're actually executing patterns and habits. And people we think we're in real time, that we're making all these great decisions, but you know, when I drink this cup of water, it takes 2.5 years to develop the pattern motor control to do this without dribbling. And I use two hands because I'm 51, almost 52 on the 20th, and I still can't do it without dribbling. So, you know, it's like people if they don't understand that we are a collection of habits that are being executed by our habit processor, which is the brain, then they are going to make wrong decisions, and that's what we find. And again, we're going to have these conversations in depth in a lot of our book and a lot of our app, and it supports your thought process. And that's why I wanted my first podcast back to be with you.
Yeah, I love it, man. I could sit and talk about this stuff, habits, all these things all day long, because, you know, like you said, is like, drinking that glass of water doesn't really impact you today, but doing that, you know, for the next 30 days, 45 days, 60 days, that's when you really begin to see the impact you're having. And then now you look at that 4 or 5 years down the road and you're like, man, what changed your life? It was like, hey, one day I was on a podcast and I drank water with 2 hands. That's when it started. And I made a decision every single day after that to continue doing it. And I kind of think about what you're teaching is like, you're teaching about fascia. You're teaching about these maneuvers that are not meant to be done one time. They're meant to be done one time every day or 2 times every day. And you got to make a decision today and a commitment today to begin to do that, so that 1, 2, 3 years down the road, you can see the cascade effect of just spending that 10 or 20 minutes a day doing it.
Okay, now here's the best part. And now we're getting biological and scientific evidence to back this up. But the best part of it, Jesse, is that you will feel, this is where the catch is. I needed the drug to be good and strong enough as a drug dealer of feeling good, that people would do it automatically. So you felt in 10 to 15 minutes, you felt good. Now you can repeat that feeling twice a day, not the activity, because the activity is something we got to do, but the feeling I want.
Right.
And so the beauty about the fascial maneuvers, because we're dealing with the container of the body, is that you can adjust the way you feel on the biology of it, 75 to 90% stress reduction, biologically measured, however you want to do it, in the first 13 minutes or less. It's a feel-good drug. And here's why it works, because everybody has their own supply. And all we have to do is we turn everybody into a drug dealer. Yeah, and it's like, hey, I'm a dopamine serotonin dealer. Like, what's yours? You like a little adrenaline, noradrenaline, norepinephrine. You're a stress dealer. I'm a feel-good guy. I'm Dr. Feel-Good. And this is the great part, because you're right. And here's why it changed for me, is because I stretched and I exercised, I did stuff, but I had to do it for a long period of time in my career as a bodybuilder, as a biohacker. But I finally found something that I do once and I feel the result and I notice the result and it changes my life. And then I just want to do it more because I already know how to create a habit. But now I just get the reward. I don't have to wait. It's like, get your cake and eat it too.
Right.
Which you did today.
For sure. Yeah. I'm going to hit this again tonight. And
so go in the app. And by the way, since we did movements 1, 2, and 3, which is pallet swipe, totally twisted, and anti-gravity because it makes you feel lighter. Then go into swinger, which is this one. Swinger, not swingers for all you couples. So anyways, go into swinger, and then you go into pull over, And those are, swinger is for your tennis elbows, stuff like that. Pullovers for your lower back, sacral plane. And then as you go through those 10 maneuvers, you're going to feel different because you're going to have a new relationship with respiratory or metabolic function.
Wow.
And that's part of what our book is. It's not about heart rate. It's about how much blood moves through the lungs.
That's amazing. Well, hey, I love having this discussion with you. I'd love to keep going another like 2-3 hours, man.
We'll do it offline.
Yeah.
Because
So how can people find out more about you? I know we said your app, but can you go through that one more time?
The webpage started there. Our Instagram right now, we're posting my 21-day full body, full life reset, where I just go through and do some work and talk to people every day for 21 days. But they can just go to humangarage.net. They can get online and they get into the app for free. And if you're a business and you're in the health business, you can set up a business account and a personal account, and you can start doing stuff and interacting for free. And if you are an online bully, just know this: we are going to get you, because our community is strong and we've got scientists and doctors and all that. You can't push our guys.
Forget about those guys. I'll be in there. I'll get in there with the riffraff and get them out.
And we're just in beta and we're looking for feedback. And this is not the final version. Right now, this is just to hold the community, but we're building an app simultaneously. I just want people to know that.
I've been in it, man. I love it. Even if it is beta, it's amazing what I've seen so far, and knowing you, it's just going to get better as we keep going.
And then we'll have lots of stuff in there. We're going to adjust all of our content disclosure in there. We're going to talk very little publicly now because I don't really care. People who want to learn will find us and they'll come there.
Awesome, man. Well, hey, thank you so much for being on here. And I love what you're doing. I love everything about what you're about. And I just appreciate you and who you are, and also what you've been able to create, not only with the physical location of the Human Garage, because that was amazing at the time. There was nothing better than that. But just to see the work you're doing now, it's amazing to watch.
Yeah, the Human Garage is it's an idea of where humans go to get the information to tinker on themselves rather than a place.
That's a great way to end it. So, well, thank you so much, man.
Take care, Jesse. Thank you for all that you do, brother. I love you. And together with what we're doing, we're going to help the world change themselves.
There we go, man. Right on. Love it. Okay, man. Well, hey, I'll make sure you get a copy of this, and we send it out to you so that you can use it. And guys, if you're listening to this, I also want you to know that, Gary's a stand-up guy. So anything that he says, I want you obviously, check it out. But like, this work that he's doing is amazing. And I can tell you, I paid a lot of money to go see him at the Human Garage. So the fact that he's doing this now, and what you can do for it it's amazing. And also, if you guys are watching this, you can go to the video at the end of this. You can stay on the last 10-12 minutes and actually go through the body work that he took me through, and the 3 moves, and you can watch that. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, man. Yeah. Thank you very much. All right, bro. Talk to you soon.
So the tougher one, I'll do it for you. Didn't see yet. What we're going to do is we're going to put the hands behind the head. We're going to stretch the skin or the fascia up behind the neck. I'll go through it here. We're going to tuck in the belly button. We're going to look up. We're going to breathe 3 times, really heavy, and through the mouth and 3 through the nose. We're going to slowly move to our chin to chest. We'll breathe 3 times through nose and mouth. Then we're going to go up like this, Jesse. Breathe in and out, and we're going to slowly move this 3 times. Then we're going to squat down to 90 degrees. Put the head out. Do this 3 times, back and forth. And then a full squat. Can you get into a full squat?
Yeah.
Okay, and then we're going to go right into a full squat. And in the full squat, what we're going to do is we're going to breathe, and then we're going to get up like this. And you're going to be really disorientated after that move, okay? It's going to take about 1.5 minutes. It's a full spinal decompression.
Okay. So start out here.
Right. So we'll do the other one first. So I'll guide you out. Just tell me when you want to start running.
Yeah, go ahead. We're good.
Okay, Jesse. So let's go ahead and start some of the fascial maneuvers. We're going to go through the first three, and we're dealing with fascia, and fascia is global in the body, and fascia has indicators, and we'll talk more about this in our app. You'll be able to see directly, but just for short, I want you to grab the inside of your left hand. I want you to squeeze in there, and it should be kind of loose in between your thumb and your forefinger. I want you to do it on the right hand. And when you do it on the right hand, Jesse, you're probably going to find it's a little bit meatier. You got that there? It's a little bit more chunky.
Yeah, it's a little.
And that's actually coming from tension in the jaw and around the palate. So we're going to get rid of that first, okay?
Okay.
Now this move here is designed to alleviate about 50% of all of the fascial tension as we walk. So, so first of all, I want you to check your neck, check your hips, just get a feel for where they are. And then what we're going to do is take your right hand and your right leg, and you're going to cross them both over. Right hand, right leg. And then take your left arm and put it over top. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to swipe the palate of our mouth. We're going to go across the roof from the right side to left side, from the top molar to the top molar, only right to left. We use our right hand to do it. Take your thumb, and we're going to swipe 6 times slowly. All right, to left. Okay, good. Now I want you to just unwind yourself when you're done. And then check your neck and check your hips. Tell me if you feel any different.
Yeah, it feels looser and warm, kind of
A little looser, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and your hips. A little looser, and then take a few steps around. And as you take a few steps around, you'll notice your feet feel a little bit more planted. The short version of this, because we got a lot of practitioners watching this, is that the fascia uses the bones to reference, and the palate of the mouth here, and the palate of the pelvic floor, they're at the top and bottom of the spine, and they're looking for fascial reference. And so that it torques over this way a bit naturally, we believe it's because of gravity. No one can really prove it, but as we swipe back this way, we reset the fascial connection between the head and between the pelvic floor, and that's why you feel looser. And if we just did that and nothing else, you did that 3 times a day and you walked, things in your body would start to correct themselves. So this whole thing is about correcting your own body. It's giving it new tools. So let's start again. Let's go right hand and right leg. We're going to go over, and we're going to take your left hand and go over. Now, is this a good hug? And since we're in the current situation, most people haven't had a hug in a while, so you get to hug yourself. Okay, you have to move slowly now. Move your upper body to the right. Turn it, so twist, and turn your head to the left. And turn your head back to the left. So, yeah, I can't really see there. It looks like that. So turn your head right into your left shoulder. Now what I want you to do is put your tongue in your left cheek, sticking out for 3 breaths. Go. Okay. Okay, now keep yourself wound up there. Purse your lips like you're sucking through a straw, and you're going to breathe in and hold it really deep. So now breathe in again, more and more. Jay, and exhale. Okay, keep wound up. We're going to do it again. Breathe in. More. Keep your head turned to the left. More. And exhale. It's really important to have the head in the right spot. Okay, we're going to breathe in again. More. And you're filling up the balloon more. And more. And exhale. Okay, now keep you wound up there. Shoulders to the right. You get a little bit more. I want you to pull in your belly button. Pull up your glutes tight. Turn a bit more to the right and keep your head a bit to the left. Okay, now what I want you to do is through your nose and out through your mouth, breathe in 6 times. So 1, 2, J, 3, Did I go off camera there? Or
Yeah, you're off.
okay, hold on a second here. Jason, I need that power cord. Camera went off. I'm so sorry, Jesse.
Yeah, no, you're back on now.
Yes. So we'll pick up right there, and Jay's gonna watch you just to make sure because I can't see you from there. Just give me a second. We'll put the power cord in. Are you you're gonna edit this, or should we start over?
No, I can edit it.
Okay. So I can't see him, please. Okay, so right over left, and then left over right. We're gonna go back to that position. Actually, tell you what, why don't we just start over from that one spot, okay? So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take your right arm and right leg, and we're gonna cross them both. We're gonna cross them both over, right over right, and put your left arm over. Now what we wanna do is slowly turn the upper body. Fascia has to move slowly, otherwise the muscles, skeletal defense system kicks in. So turn your upper body to the right, and turn your head to the left. Now stick your tongue in your left cheek and push it out for 3 breaths. I'll explain why there. Okay, now what you're gonna do is like you're breathing through a straw, you're gonna breathe in, hold it. We're stage 3 breaths like that. So breathe in, a bit more, and exhale. Keep that tightness winding up. Pull in your belly button, pull up your glutes, tighten them up. So breathe in again. More, and exhale. Breathe in again. More, and exhale. Okay, now we're going to breathe into the nose and out through the mouth 6 times. So in through the nose. And I want you to just let it fall out of your mouth, not blowing it. Fascia is acoustically sensitive. So when we blow out fast, it sends a stress signal to the body. So we're just letting it fall out. 3 breaths. 4. Now in the 4th, 5th, and 6th breath, you might start to feel your hips on the inside loosen up. And 1 more. Okay, good. Now keep that position there, but slowly rotate your body to the left, upper body to left, and put your head to the right. Okay, now what I want you to do, Jesse, is put your tongue in your right cheek like we did before for 3 breaths. Squeeze your glutes, pull your belly button in. And what I want you to do is breathe in like you're breathing through a straw with your lips pursed. So breathe in and hold it. Again, and more. And exhale slowly. Breathe in again. More, and exhale slowly. Breathe in again. More, and exhale slowly. Now in through the nose and out through the mouth 6 times. To keep your belly button pulled in and your glutes up as you're doing this. We're going to breathe 4th breath. And just breathe in and let it fall out. Now you feel the hips start to loosen on the inside, feet settle again. Okay, good. Now unwind yourself slowly. And just kind of walk around a little bit in a circle. I know you're on camera, but feel your body and just give you some changes. When you're doing this, Jesse, you're going to feel unequally tight, like for example, the back of the neck on the right side. You might feel it on the left hip and on the right leg because your body was wound and we're unwinding fascia, which is spiral in the whole body, like DNA strand. And what we're doing is we're unwinding it on one side. And what do you actually feel?
Yeah, I mean, I feel much looser in the hips and like torso. And then open. I feel a lot more open in the chest.
Right, open chest. Okay, now also, is your mind a little clearer?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so what we did, and we're going to do the other side next. This one's called Totally Twisted. And this one here, this move is what I've been testing out with all of our pro athletes for about 2 years, almost 3 years. And it's reduced injuries by 75 to 90%. So we're gonna do the other one, left arm and left leg. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put them both over, and then right arm on top. And then, so we're counter rotated basically. We're turning upper body to the right again, to the right, and the head to the left. Now we put your tongue in your left cheek again, 3 breaths. Great. Now with your lips pursed, like you're drawing through a straw, we're gonna breathe in and stage it. So breathe in, hold it. More, more, and exhale. Pull your glutes in, your root block up, your belly button in, and breathe in. More, 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 and exhale. Okay, and turn a little bit more to the right. You'll find you get a bit more torque. Breathe in again. More, 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 and exhale. Okay, great. Now in through the nose and out through the mouth slowly. So breathing in, easy. And when we breathe in through the nose, we get more air in the upper part of the body above the diaphragm. And when we breathe in through the mouth, we create resistance. And we get more air in below the diaphragm. And that's on purpose, because when we breathe in through the mouth, we're actually releasing the hips, and then we release the shoulders. So you're gonna feel like you can turn a bit more. If you can, go ahead. Pull your belly button in, tighten your glutes really tight, turn a bit more, and you get a bit more twist. There it is. And slowly, we're done our 6 breaths, so slowly turn your body to the left. Now this one's gonna cause balance issues for most people first time. Turn your body to the left and turn your head to the right. Yeah, all the way over, there you go, and head to the right. Now again, right tongue and right cheek for 3 breaths. Now, drawing air through your lips like a straw. Again, again, and exhale. Breathe in again, 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 and exhale. Breathe in again, more, more, and exhale. Now, tighten up your glutes again, pull that belly button in tight, turn a bit more to the left if you can, and turn your head to the right, and in through the nose and out through the mouth 6 times. And as you're doing this, again, let the breath fall out, and you're gonna start to feel something very different in your hips and your feet this time. Around the 4th, and certainly the 5th and the 6th, most people would feel their feet relaxing a bit more. Oh, almost fell. And there it goes. And one more deep breath. Okay, good. Now slowly unwind. Again, moving slow for fascia. The tendency with most athletes is to move fast. With fascia, you have to move slow. So move around a little bit. Tell me what you're feeling now, which is different from last time or more of.
I feel a lot in the back of my shoulders and arms, almost like they're like weightless.
Yes, absolutely. And the reason, I'll tell you why later when that happens. How's your head? Do you feel very calm?
Yeah, I feel very grounded and present.
Yes. So we had the brain mechanics guys out here for a week testing brain function and stress. And what we found consistently, 75 to 90% of the stress is reduced at the end of this movement here. And if we reduce stress, we recover better, digest better, we sleep better, all the different things to perform better. So move your hips again too. Hips feel loose. Okay, good. Now the next one, this one is really trippy. We call it anti-gravity, and it's gonna make you feel like you're floating. And we say your bones are floating in your fascia, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our hands. Now I'm gonna show you. We're gonna put the hands behind the neck. Wait, I'll show you first, and then we'll do it together. You're gonna stretch the skin up, basically like you're pulling your fascia, your skin off your neck. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna tighten the belly button. We're gonna look up, We're gonna breathe 3 times. I'll direct you, and then we're gonna bring our 6 times. We breathe our belly button, our chin to chest. We're gonna breathe, turn to the right, turn to the left 3 times, and then we're gonna squat. When we squat, we want to go like a skier, and then we want to look forward to the camera, and we're gonna go right and left, and then we're gonna go to a full squat, and then we're gonna come up. Just so you got the flow, and I'll walk you through it, okay?
Okay.
So hands touching, and what you want, the thumbs, all 10 fingers have to touch, super important. Yeah, perfect. So behind your neck. Now, get it as low as you can, and you're trying to like pull your neck into your skull. There you go. Now, tighten your belly button, pull up your glutes, and you slowly move your head and your eyes look all the way up. And then when you get there, you'll feel your neck stretch and your lower back. You got that?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Now with your lips pursed, breathe in and hold it 3 times. So a bit more, a bit more, and you'll feel tightening in your chest. Slowly let it out. Breathe in again. More, more, and slowly let it out. Keep looking up and pull your belly button in. Breathe in. More, 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 and slowly let it out. Okay, that's awesome. Now in through the nose and out through the mouth 3 times, slowly. Okay, good. Now what we want is to bring your chin to your chest slowly. And as you do this, you bring your elbows closer to the center like you're doing a sit-up, like a crunch. You're standing there, pull your belly button in, pull your glutes up, and then we're going to breathe in just in and out through the mouth. So with the mouth first, breathe in. So, and exhale. Again. And exhale. Again. And exhale. And remember to bring the belly button in, pull up the glutes, and now 3 through the nose. And as you're doing the nose here, 1, you're going to feel it engages the traps and the shoulders and the lats more this time, and the top of the neck. Good. And what we're doing is we're bringing air into the fascia up there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to pretend that we're swimming, and you're going to slowly look up to the right. So look up to the right like you're front crawl swimming. And take a deep breath in with your mouth and exhale slowly to center. Then go up to the left. Exhale slowly to center. Up to the right. Exhale slowly to center. And up to the left. Exhale slowly to center. And up to the right. Exhale slowly to center. We're going to go to left, and then we're going to come back to neutral, left, and center. So on the left now, what you're going to do is make sure you're shoulder width apart. You got your neck pulled down, so it's like you're pulling the skin off your neck towards your head. You tighten your belly button, tighten your glutes, and then start to slowly squat. And if you can't get to 90 degrees, that's okay, but go as far as you can. If you get to 90, then look back up at the camera at me. Good. And stick your bum out, kind of like, yeah, there you go. Kind of like foundation movements where you stick your bum out and stretch. Now go up to the right, look up to the right. And exhale down. Go to the left. And exhale down. Go to the right. And exhale down. Go to the left. And exhale down. Go to the right. And exhale down, go to the left. Last one, and exhale down. Now, when you come to center, I want you, if you can go to a full squat, you can. If you can't, stand up and then put your neck down in position number 2. Elbows in between your knees. And 3, tighten your glutes and your pelvic floor and your belly button. 3 breaths into the mouth. Just in deep. And exhale. And again. And exhale. Fill up the whole body. You'll feel your lower back engaging. Now 3 through the mouth. And exhale. And exhale. And exhale. Now we're going to sit up, stand up, but bum first, head down. So bum goes first, Head comes up. Second weight, keep pulling on the head, stretching the fascia. As you come to the top, look all the way up in the air and finish. Whew. Now you're going to feel quite a bit out of balance, and I'll explain why while you're walking around. So we're going to walk Jesse for a good 3 minutes here, and I'll explain why. But just kind of move around and tell me, you feel a little disoriented off?
I feel really dizzy, lightheaded.
Yeah, okay, and I'm going to explain why. The primary reason is that's a full spinal decompression from stem to stern, including all the way up in the cranial and the sacral and the tailbone. So your spine is your center balance. It's where your cerebral spinal fluid is, so keep moving. And so that's your center balance. So your whole fascia and perception has to be able to feed information to the brain and then tell the body how to act. And fascia moves before muscles move. And we have this kind of conversation in our app, in our discussion as part of the book we're writing, because we went out on a journey to prove it, and we were able to prove it. So now as you're walking around, you'll be coming into your body right about now. So you're starting to feel a little bit more like you're in your body.
For sure, yeah.
Okay, take a deep breath. Chest is open. Move your jaw. Turn your head. So what are the things you notice about your movement that's different in standing and moving and breathing?
Probably my biggest thing is my jaw's loose, and then my whole like neck just feels open, and I mean I feel like everything's just like wide open. Okay, let's, because I know you got a lot of tension there, so let's do one last little thing. Okay. This is, again, all these things are in our app in detail, and they're free in our community. So I want you to take both fingers here, and we're going to stick it out. I'll show you first. We're going to stick it between the teeth and the gums right to the back of the jaw, right on the top. Yeah. And so basically it's right up here. And then you take the other hand, do the same thing. Now this is going to hurt like hell, okay? So what I want you to do is open and close your jaw 3 times slowly. Close. So pressing back. Okay, good. Now look up and do the same thing. Open and close. Good. Look down and open, close. Okay, good. Look neutral again. Turn your head to the right. And breathe. Tighten your belly button and your glutes. Turn your head slowly to the left. Breathe. Okay, good. And just because we'll be ready to talk on the podcast, let's do one more thing. You should feel very, very calm in your head right now. Okay, now walk around and tell me if your feet feel really flexible. Yeah, feet feel flexible. And again, without going too far into the science of it or the reason, explanation why, it's just that it works, and we'll talk about that in detail later. Last thing we're going to do is you're going to put your thumb inside your ear, and it's like you're going to turn a shirt, like a piece of plastic. So push it in hard and stretch it and turn it forward. Okay, now what I want you to do is grab the ear like this. So you got the whole ear, like you're pulling it off, and then rotate it forward. And it's going to hurt a little bit in the ear. The pain will go away. It always hurts the first time. Open and close your jaw 3 times. And you'll feel a little pain right in the ear canal and the lower jaw. Now we'll do the same thing with the left hand, and you have to follow me. We're going to go up and down, left and right. So put the thumb in there, turn forward, crank the ear. Okay. Now what I want you to do is go up and down 3 times, open. Okay, good. Now look up all the way in 3 times. Look down all the way slowly 3 times.
Like you're swimming, look up to the right, like the first one. Look up to the left. Come back to neutral. Turn your head, rotate it to the right. Tighten your glutes, pull in your belly button. Turn to the left. Okay, great. Now, there's something that's gonna happen to your eyes, and we discovered this, it's amazing. Walk around and feel it. So effectively, the first 3 movements take 10 to 13 minutes. The 2 things we did with the head, you take another 12. This is a 15 minutes worth of exercise. And if you do them over and over, it's different. Now look around. Does it look like things are possibly either brighter, sharper, more color, high def?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so, and there's a reason why, what we can talk about a little bit, it's about how the ears are vibrational and they work with the center of the brain called the limbic system, and how they calm that down so that your peripheral senses start to expand so you can see more, hear more, taste, touch, and feel more. Touch your skin, just rub your hand across and you'll feel more sensitive. If you're like me and I get a shit ton of ecstasy when I was a kid, it feels like you get ecstasy going on. And there's a reason why, because all of your spinal nerves are decompressed. And when you do that initially, and then the fascia starts breathing, you breathe more, your serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin go up right away. And as you can feel, your stress, any stress you had in your body or that you didn't know you had is gone. So the idea is to do these movements twice a day, 10 minutes, just the first 3, called the palate swipe, totally twisted. And then anti-gravity, and those there we find are 2/3 of all of what the body needs to loosen and heal. And then we have 7 other movements that are designed for movement and professionals to move better, feel better, run faster, all those things, and they do work. And so we'll cut off this right now. I guess we're gonna go back to the podcast part, right?
Yeah. So
Feel good?
I feel, dude, I honestly, I hurt my back for the first time about 2 weeks ago, just sitting in a chair and could barely walk. I've done acupuncture, I've done massage, I've done like 10 different things, and just going through this, like even it was bugging me a little bit today, but just going through this, man, I feel so much looser and better. So
yeah, and there's a reason for it. It's on your right side, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so by the way, you're in good company. About 100 of my regular people, all right side today, and that has something to do with a bigger topic that we have. We won't get into that in the podcast, but I will be talking about that in our app. Okay. So look at awesome. Let's go back to the podcast now. We're ready to rock and roll.
This is the habit-based lifestyle where you can access your full potential right now. Finally break free from destructive habits. That dream life, if you want it, you can have it. This is the habit-based lifestyle. Let's go.